We're going to be discussing the player of the week for the National League, our own Eugenio Suarez. I think we can call him our own, right? I mean, he's a Red,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he's one of us, and everyone still loves him. So, yeah.
Like, if you think, like, let's say, would you imagine him retiring as a Red, or do you think he'll retire as, like, a Diamondback?
It would have to be a Red, unless he hits like 50 homers this year. But he hit, 49 with the Reds?
Yeah.
So,
if he retires a Diamondback, it's going to hurt. But he's the player of the week for the National League. Here's a clip of him hitting a bomb. I think he hit 3 or 4 on the weekend, was it?
he had 4.
4. Here's one of them.
Suarez hits a high fly ball. Deep
This is
left
via
center.
MLB, by the way. Credit to MLB for the clip. Is he a good player now, or is this just an overreaction, flash the pan type of thing?
I mean, I think it's just like that. You know what you're going to get from him. Like, he's going to strike out a ton, but like all of his hits this year are home runs. He's 4 for 14 with 4 home runs. So I think it's like a 2 outcome type of player. It's going to be loud contact, or it's going to be no contact at all.
I agree. Yeah, he's off to a great start this year. This is the second year on the Diamondbacks, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, last year he wasn't too bad. It seems like ever since that kind of tragic year, and I mean, he hasn't been phenomenal, but ever since like 2020, like ever since he got past that first kind of year, I think with Seattle, was it? Looks like he's been pretty good.
He, from what I remember, I could be wrong. I think I remember that he started off horrible last year, and then his second half was like ridiculous.
I agree. Well, spin zone here. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have who's been starting at third base for us?
I guess
Espinal?
Yes, the Candyman would probably be the closest.
Would you rather have the Candyman or Geno?
I would. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I feel like they're kind of like similar in a way to where like Candy's going to strike out a decent amount, but when he hits the ball, like it's going to be extra bases. I don't know like how well Geno is over at third. Like Candy's not that great either, but I don't know. I feel like they're pretty close. So then at that point, it just comes down to like contract. So I guess you'd take Suarez at that point, but I don't know. I feel like I don't feel too strongly like one way or another. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I don't feel strongly later. I like winning trades, you know. I like coming out on the best side of the trade. And originally I thought we'd come out on the right side of the trade based on what, you know, Winker's obviously better now, but he was pretty bad with the Mariners.
Yeah.
And obviously the Mariners got rid of Suarez, but did we win the Geno trade or did we lose it?
I mean,
because
I don't know.
We got Justin Dunn, who is no longer with us, correct?
Correct. He is with the White Sox, I think. Jake
Fraley?
Yeah, I mean, I think Fraley's like 2023 season alone wins the trade. I don't think that's like a hot take. And then like Brandon Williamson was also like decent. I know he's gotten hurt a ton, but like 2023 he was like okay. He was like a back of the rotation arm. So I feel like they won that. I mean, it would be different if Geno did what he did last year, like on the Mariners, but like he did it all with Arizona. And like we were just talking about, he was not like very great with Seattle. Like he was solid in 2022. He was really bad in 23. And then he went to Arizona. So I feel like from a Mariners, Reds, strictly like those two teams standpoint, I feel like the Reds won.
I'm inclined to agree. Is there a world right now where Geno is still on the Reds? or is there no world where that happens? Because I feel as if a Geno, Ellie, McLean, CES infield would just be kind of insane.
It would be, for the vibes, it would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like a world, because like they signed Suarez to an extension pretty early on, and they traded him after the first year of that, like after the extension really kicked in after his arbitration years. So they were kind of like salary dumping him in a sense. And then they were like selling high on Winker because he just made the All-Star team. Clearly that worked out for them. So I don't know if there's really a world, unless they like re-sign him again. But I don't think he's like gone to free agency. I know he had a club option this past winter, but the Diamondbacks picked it up. So
Yeah. I don't know. It just always kind of stings when you see a former player kind of popping off like this, but
yeah.
Good for him. One last question. Did he deserve the player of the week, would you think, or was there someone else who maybe deserved it more?
No, I don't really think so. I think it's fair deserved. I mean, maybe Ryan Nelson for getting a hit as a pitcher. That was pretty sweet, but that's one at bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really give it to a pitcher because they threw one time. But like, if you could, like Jesus Luzardo put up a good first start. Mackenzie Gore shoved on opening day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, they're definitely honorable mentions, but I don't know. I think it's fairly deserved for us being 4 or 5 games in.
I do too. Do you think this play will continue? Obviously not this much of a hot start, but do you think that Geno can maybe have like a monster year this year? Or would you bet against it?
I don't know about monster, but I think anything like, I'm not going to say he's going to have the second half that he did last year because it was pretty ridiculous, but something like slightly below that. I mean, you kind of, like I said at the beginning, you kind of know what you're going to get. So like, I don't know, just throwing stuff out there, like a 250s average of 800 OPS and like, I don't know, 30 home runs. Like, I feel like that's reasonable.
I agree. Best of luck, Eugenio Suarez, player of the week.